To start, I'd like to ask, with the US kind of pulling away from the UN, what is it that is drawing China to re-engage with it?
I think those two things are not in that close time sequence that your question suggests in a way. The Chinese have been moving into a more active role in the United Nations for quite some time now. I would say the last 15 years in particular. They've stepped up the level of their contribution in terms of peacekeeping troop numbers. So there was a step up in 2004, there was another step up again in a few years later. 2012, 2013 saw them agree to add combat troops. So it's been a sort of evolving policy. And this tracks China's growing global influence in many ways. So there were many reasons why they might have been interested in stepping up their involvement, partly because so many of the peace operations are in Africa, where they have people, investments, businesses, aid relationships, trade relationships, and so on. So there was an understanding that peace and stability in the African continent was very important to them. And the understanding, I think, that they could gain quite a lot of international experience working alongside other militaries and the like. And so it's been a steady thing. What's happened in terms of the United States withdrawal, which is very much a Trump policy, it wouldn't be something I'd associate with the Obama period, is it's provided even more opportunity for China to stand out as a country that actually is contributing to the United Nations in various ways, particularly in comparison with the United States.
Yeah, thanks. And how would you say China's normative challenge to kind of the UN and what it stands for and how it operates is different from that of other rising powers?
Well, I think China's in a special place because it is a P5 member. And because it is materially powerful, it is the second largest economy in the world, it is able to offer resources to the UN in a way that other emerging powers just wouldn't contemplate. So I think it's in a special position. It's very difficult to put it in that block of emerging powers in many ways. It's in a class of its own in a number of respects. And so the idea that it is materially successful, that it therefore should take on special responsibilities, has become very much part of their own self-image and the image that they promote elsewhere. So I think its ideas, therefore, carry more weight and they're listened to more closely because of its special position.
Thanks. And then finally, what are the key forces and states that are resisting Chinese efforts to redefine the UN's norms? It's the usual suspects in a way. It would be obviously a number of democratic states are concerned about activities within the Human Rights Council in particular. The UN Secretariat is very wedded to its idea that you need development, peace and security and human rights. They are very wedded in the idea of peace operations, that you should protect civilians in conflict, that you should actually acknowledge the sort of differential impact that warfare has on women and do something about that, and so on. So there's a very strong normative commitment, I think, within the UN Secretariat, and so the main resistance, in a way, comes from those kinds of forces.